Hi everybody, this is a co-op Form 1 Latin lecture for March 27th. Okay, so you should have finished up lesson 20, which is a review of the third unit, which was about nouns and adjectives. What I want to do this week is to take an extra week on that review of unit 3. So what I'd like you to do is to look at your quizzes from those weeks that we've been talking about nouns and adjectives, and if you struggled with them, redo them, and have one of your parents grade the quizzes and show you where you went wrong and retake them. And I will have Mrs. Pascucci email you the pages of the answer key in case you don't have it. So I'm hoping to get really solid on our nouns and our adjectives of the first and second declension before we move on. And we haven't met in a couple of weeks, so I'm expecting a little bit of rustiness. Okay, so what I want to do today in this video is do some review about nouns and adjectives. And it's all things that I've said before, but it's good to have it in a video, and it's good to hear it multiple times. So, a noun, just as in English, is a person, place, thing, or idea. Okay? And in Latin, nouns have a few different aspects. And when I say aspect, remember that I mean the ways we describe nouns and what they are. So a noun can be singular or plural. That's number. The aspect is number. And the options are singular or plural. Singular meaning one, and plural meaning more than one. Okay? Easy enough. A noun can also have gender, right? So masculine, feminine, or neuter. And the only way to know what the gender of a word is, a noun is to memorize it. And that's why I have you, when you do your vocab on quizzes and homework, you have to write the nominative singular, genitive singular, and the gender, because you have to memorize it. You won't be able to tell. So the first declension is mostly feminine, except for 3 words. And those are agricola, nauta, and poeta. And those 3 words are masculine. The second declension, on the other hand, has 2 groups, and one of them is masculine and one of them is neuter. Okay, the masculine beginning with us in the nominative singular, and the neuter beginning with or ending in in the nominative singular. Okay, so that's gender. The gender options again are masculine, feminine, and neuter. Okay, so we talked about number and gender. What else does a noun have? It has declension. And there are 5 declensions, and we've learned 2 of them. What else? It has, nouns have case. Okay, there are 5 cases that you need to know. Nominative, genitive, dative, accusative, and ablative. And the nominative case is used primarily for subjects of sentences, right? The genitive is used primarily for showing possession. Much like in English, we would have apostrophe S to show possession. But in Latin, you can tell a word is possessive because it's in the genitive case. The dative case is used for indirect objects. And the indirect object answers the question to whom or for whom. So in this sentence, hear this sentence. I give Sadie a cookie. Okay. If you want to find out which thing was the indirect object, which you would translate as the dative case, you say, well, to whom or for whom was the cookie given? Well, the answer is Sadie. So Sadie is our indirect object. And in Latin, we would put her name in the dative case. So dative is for indirect object. The accusative is for direct objects. And the direct object answers the question, what? Okay, so it's the thing, the object of the verb. So let me give an example. Same sentence. I give Sadie the cookie. Now ask the question, what do you give? What do you give? And the answer is you give the cookie, right? So cookie is your direct object, and Sadie is still your indirect object. So dative, indirect object, and accusative, direct object. And the last case is ablative. And ablative is used in prepositional phrases, and we'll talk more about that later in life. Okay, so what are the aspects of nouns? Gender, number, case, and declension. Okay? Now, what about adjectives? Well, an adjective is a word, as we've talked about, that describes a noun. And one of the words we use in grammar class when we talk about adjectives is modifying. And what that is an adjective modifies a noun. That means it describes a noun, okay? So it goes with a noun. And the way you can tell that it goes with or modifies a certain noun is that it matches in a certain way. And the ways that a noun and adjective have to match, or the way that an adjective has to match its noun, is in gender, number, and case. Okay? Gender, number, and case. So, for example, if I want to say the good land, and let's say we put it in the nominative singular. Okay? So what is the word for land? It's terra. And it's already in the nominative singular there. So nominative is the case, singular is the number, and it's feminine, right? Because it's in the first declension and it's not one of the three exceptions. So terra is nominative, singular, feminine. So if I want to say the good land, I have to find the word that means good, which is bonus, bona, bonum. And then next, I have to put it in the nominative singular feminine so that it matches in gender, number, and case. So that would be bona terra or terra bona. So you could do that with a number of examples, and that's actually very good practice. You pick a noun, put it in a given case and number, and then pick an adjective to match it to. Or to match to it, rather. That's a really good practice, and you should do that at home. Okay, so what next? So it matches in gender, number, and case. An adjective modifies its noun in gender, number, and case. But it doesn't match necessarily in its ending, in the letters at the end of the word. Okay? For example, if I want to say the bad sailor, say nominative singular again. Nauta is sailor, right? So that's the nominative singular masculine, right? Because sailor is masculine. Nominative singular masculine. So if I want to say that the sailor is bad, I will use the word malus, mala, malum, right? And I need to put it in the nominative singular masculine so that it matches. Well, that would be malus, right? So the end product is nauta malus. So you see how the endings aren't the same, but they are the same in the gender, number, and case, right? Because nauta is masculine. So that's just one example, and there will be more later on in life where the adjective doesn't necessarily have the same ending as the word that it's modifying, even though it matches in gender, number, and case. Okay? What else here? One moment, please. Okay, we also talked about numbers. That was in lesson 19. So you learned cardinal and ordinal numbers. Okay, cardinal numbers are the counting numbers. Those are the ones where you tell a little kid, can you count to 10? And they go 1, 2, 3, exactly like that. That's counting numbers. That's cardinal numbers. Ordinal numbers tell you the order of the numbers. So that would be first, second, third, fourth, etc. And that's how you, for example, you say, yeah, I'm the first kid in my family, or I'm the fifth kid in my family. Okay, that's ordinal. It tells you that there are 4 other people in front of you if you say you're the fifth. Okay. So in Latin, you learned these as unus aum, duo, tres, quatuor, quinque, sex, septem, octo, novem, decem. Those are the cardinal numbers. And the ordinal numbers all look just like adjectives, right? The adjectives that you know. So primus aum, secundus aum, tertius aum, etc. Okay. What else here would be good to review? Let's see. Oh, just one more thing, I guess. Okay. This is really important. On your quizzes and in your homework, probably. A lot of times, the quiz has very clear, specific instructions for how to write your vocab terms. It will often ask for the dictionary form of the word. And we've talked about this a couple of times, but it seems like some people are forgetting sometimes or not reading their instructions carefully. If your quiz asks you for the dictionary form of a noun, you give the nominative singular, and then the genitive singular, and then the gender. And you have to write all 3 of those things for it to be right. Now, you can, for the first and second declension, you can, for the genitive, do the little dash and then just the ending of the word for the genitive. But that isn't true for the third declension, which we'll learn next week. So just be careful of it. But make sure you list all those things, okay? In Mars Hill, for example, when you're older, I will start taking off a lot of points if people don't put the full dictionary form. So that's really important. So that was for a noun, you put the nominative and genitive and gender. But for an adjective, you need to put the nominative singular masculine, then the nominative singular feminine, then the nominative singular neuter. And it's the same thing as the nouns. You can put for the feminine and the neuter, you can just put the endings with a little dash. Or you can write it out all the way. I don't mind which way you do it. Okay. I think that's everything. Do keep saying the Lord's Prayer. Say it every day if you can when you start school or maybe when you wake up. We don't want to lose that because we want to have that memorized all the time. Well, I miss you all. I hope you have a good week. Good luck. Have your moms call me or email me if you have any questions. All right. God bless you.